Okay, decoding design and hiring process. That's the topic. Before we do that, can I ask, like, why do you choose UX? You don't have to answer me right now, but I think you might have some basic understanding of how or of the reason why you are here, right? You probably want to get a design job, but why product design or why UX? Um, is there anything you want to share, guys? Like from your perspective, why you choose this subject as your career?
I'm sorry, I was in and out earlier, so I don't know if you asked any questions. But yeah, I'm just sitting down now.
Yeah,
I'm keen to actually learn more about UX. I'm keen. Well, a lot of stuff that we do today is about the users, about customers, about us. Really, we're all users. So I'm keen to progress into UX
right.
in about 3-5 years, maybe. So
Mm-hmm.
just do a bit of background work at the moment.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So, sorry to add. What do you do right now, Willing?
I'm a digital content specialist.
Oh, right. So more closing to marketing perspective, right?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah, I have quite similar background as you a few years ago. I'm trying to um, transition my career from content marketing and to UX, and that part is later I can share something, or you can watch the video I'm going to I'm going to send, and it's briefly share some challenges that I had a few years ago. Quite similar as your position. Yeah. So thank you for sharing. That's really good. I think for UX, there are a lot of reasons why we choose this career, and I think everyone has his own reasons. And in general, probably I just pick a few highlights that we can understand. Like first of let's talk money first, right? So UX is the top 25 salaries of any job in US and New Zealand. And also, if you check the average salary, it's around 80K US dollars per year, which is quite good. But from New Zealand market, I feel a little bit frustrated to say the number is quite low compared to US or UK, but still it's quite good. And for the market, for the size of the market, as we know, from here you can see some numbers and you can see some potential opportunities of getting a job in US market and New Zealand market or other places. But in general, I think we all feel that after the impact of COVID, a lot of businesses are marching from offline to online, and the experience, the user's experience, a lot of things are forced to move forward. So it's kind of like the way people work, the way people live, it's changed a lot, and it's like the norm is changed in a fundamentally ways. So which means that a lot of experience need to be redesigned. So there will be more opportunities for us to get a job and stay longer than we thought. And also, I think one major part is that UX is still the highest paying tech job where a graduate degree is not required, which means you can be as a self-taught designer or just by joining some design schools or boot camps, and then learn by doing, and then you can get a job. And also it's a high paid job. So this is quite a privilege for a lot of people with some self-determination and want to really get a new job, and it could be the advantage. It's kind of quite similar as programmer, as computer science, computer engineer. So they can also do the job by learn the job by doing, and the pay is really high. But I also can see one advantage that maybe just for UX, not any other jobs, is that it's more like an umbrella, can cover many skills and many fields, many industries. For example, as a UX designer, you might need to understand the business perspective, the business. You may need to understand technology, design, and some kind of the marketing. Uh, so which means it's a combination of different fields, and many fields are more close to like people's experience. So which means it's a timeless job. So it's keep growing, and a lot of the skills you're going to learn is transferable to other fields. So it's not like coding, programming. If you learn and get really good at a language like JavaScript or C++, and then if the platform changed, or if you got to another new places, new country, a new company, and then you need to learn something from scratch again, from some language, learn some language from scratch again. So I think this is a lot of advantage that we get involved in UX, and this is the biggest mindset I want to incept at this stage to you. So now, no matter where you are at your design journey, like for example, like we have two people here, like Matt, you are learning UX from Springboard, and Huiling, you are trying to understand how it looks like, how it works, and what do they do as a UX designer, and maybe a few years later you can transition your career into UX. But I want you to think from now, from here, like right now, today, you are already a product designer, or you are already a UX designer. And what you are going to design is yourself. So regard yourself as a product you're going to sell. So who are you going to sell? Recruiters, your potential employers, and other companies and hiring managers, maybe a design manager at a company. Those people are your customers. So, and you are selling yourself as a product. So you need to design the experience for those people as your customer, and then they can get the buy-in for you. So think yourself as a product, and how you can interact with those guys, and how you can show your value to those people. So this is a design challenge. So start to think this from this perspective from now, and you will see a lot of outcomes, or a lot of things will be available, or will be as a resource for you to go further. So yeah. By the way, if you have any questions or anything you want to comment, just raise it up. So don't be afraid to interrupt me, because there are only a few people here. So we want to be I want to be like a very casual sharing, right? So here's a little bit about me. I think I don't want to go deeper. So this is more like a personal story or personal journey. My name is Bear, and I'm a self-taught designer since like nearly 15 years ago, and start as a graphic designer at first, and then slowly from graphic design to digital design, and to multimedia design. And then 2012, I set up, I founded a company named, sorry, I need to check. Is there anyone joining or waiting? It seems not. Okay, that's all good. So I'll just keep it going. So 2012, I found a company. I founded a company in China, which is more close to website design and app design. And yeah, we've been involved in a lot of successful apps. Some apps I'm really proud of, and they also got we also got Apple's Apps of the Year award winner. But long story short, 2016, I moved to a new country. I moved to New Zealand, so everything need to start from scratch. And also, uh, because it's a small market and quite traditional, so finding job is not that easy. But I was really lucky to find my first job in just 1 month when I arrived in New Zealand as a multimedia specialist in a local e-commerce company. Quite good. It's a really good company. People are really nice. Um, but then I found that my job more close to marketing rather than design. So my title also changed from multimedia specialist to marketing specialist after 1 year, 1.5 years, which is I think I'm okay to do marketing, but it feels that it's not my passion. So then I made a decision that I need to refocus my career back to design. So 2019, I moved on from my previous company, and then there's a few weeks, a month of gap that I'm between jobs. So there are ups and downs, and I don't want to talk much about the details. In general, there are self-doubting, overthinking, um, like imposter syndromes. So that's what happened on me. And also uh, panicking is quite a usual experience. But long story short, after nearly 5 months later, I find my first UX design job at Les Mills, which is the top fitness company in New Zealand, uh, and um, and they have multiple markets all over the world. So I really enjoyed that job. But then this guy, COVID. So this guy happened. We are quite familiar with COVID right now, right? But 2020, which means last year, in the middle of last year, in the earlier stage of last year, like the fitness industry was hugely impacted by COVID. So I was redundant. I got laid off with my team. And then it actually not that bad at that moment because I have this gap from scratch to find a job. I know how it feels. And actually I've learned a lot. And also I built my strategy of which means that I pretty much get it prepared. Like if I lost this job, how will it go? So how might I go? And then I work in two directions. First of all, trying to find a new job here in New Zealand, like on the local market, as get everything back to normal. But also, I start to think how I can build a future-proof career. If anything like this will happen, or this COVID thing will last for longer than we thought, how we can solve the problem, or how we can get a better uh, position for my career to deal with this situation. So the result was quite good. I landed a new job as a senior UX designer at Vodafone, and also I became a mentor at Career Foundry and Springboard, two UX boot camps, one based in San Francisco, the other based in Berlin, Germany. Okay, so this is my like how I find that COVID actually make me stronger, like make me a better designer. So which yeah, I think I can share something around this. And later, um, since last month, I became a product designer at Zero, which is the top um, tech company in New Zealand. Zero is always on my job list, like on my dream job list for a while, since like 3 years ago or 4 years ago when I moved to New Zealand, and it was on my dream job list. And then I saw this job opens this role opens, and I applied it. After a few rounds of interviews, I got the job. So I start from zero again. So literally start from zero again. So this is my yeah, I saw some yeah, another guys coming. Okay, so this is my story. And during that period, what I found is that sorry, during that period, I found this is the photo I share. Like last day on my marketing job, my wife took a photo for me carrying a big box, and then I thought, yeah, it was the adventure begins. But definitely there are ups and downs, and I don't want to share much details. But there are like applying subsidy, or just wondering if I can get a postman's job. Like when I saw a postman uh, on the street, and so probably I can do that job, because get a UX design job is really hard, and maybe it's not the right job for me. Maybe I don't have that talent to become a designer. So yeah, it happens. And also, if you're struggling with the similar situation, like no matter when you are at your career, I have to say you're not alone. And I totally understand. That's something we need to find our way to tackle it. And here is the job I applied during the whole 5 months. So you can see there are around 50 jobs that I applied, and most of them are just without any, or just with a politely rejected email. And some job I do got interviews, and some job I'm really devote a lot of effort. I really spend a lot of effort and preparation, go to a few rounds, but then didn't get it at last, which really a frustrating experience. And also during this process, I started to realize it's actually not a painful experience. And then I start to switch my mindset into the learning mode. Like every time, even when I got a rejected email, I see it as a learning opportunity, and I seek out for feedback, or asking why, or just reach out in person. So by doing that, it's actually become an adventure. It's not just a, a like a boring, or just a frustrating experience, a really long period like without job. But I think it's really helpful. And no matter what will happen next, maybe, yeah, if some globally chaos will happen again, something like that, I think I got prepared, yeah, for that, at least on mentally and strategically. Yeah. So this is more about my personal story, but I want to tackle what's the topic we're going to solve on this workshop. Let me ask you a question. So this is the question I asked as an experiment a few weeks ago on LinkedIn. I asked this question, like, hey guys, I'm preparing a speak and would like to hear your thoughts. It's about if you find a dream job is open on the market, and you find that you match 3 of all requirements of this job. So would you apply it, or you just wait, and after you feel, okay, I'm improved myself, and then I feel I'm a match for this job, and then I will apply. So yes, I will go for it, or let's wait and improve, go for later. So what you guys think? Would you apply, or would you say now, next time? So yeah, if you can maybe send a chat message, or just say it out loud. Would you apply it? Anyone, would you apply it?
Maybe not yet, but maybe in a few months.
Okay, right. So cool. How about you, Huiling?
Oh, I said I would.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
that's great. Right.
Yeah.
I just saw Tiffany join. Hi, Tiffany. How are you? Good. Yeah, this question is more like a discussion. All right, no pressure. Just if you find a dream job is open, and you match 3 of 6 requirements, would you apply it? Or just wait until you're ready? Tiffany, would you apply it?
Yes. Sorry. I don't know if you can hear me. Yes?
Yeah, I can hear you. Okay, that's great. Cool. We can see, okay, actually there's no right or wrong answer. It depends on different situations, and also the original purpose of this question is to find out if people is to find out some differentiate factors for female candidates and male candidates. And the result, there's a research about this, and the result of that research is quite interesting. Like most of the male, or more like a male candidate, will more likely to apply it, even it's not match all the requirements, and female candidates were more likely to wait and improve. But this is not my what I found during this experiment on LinkedIn. Because if you are interested, you can go to my LinkedIn profile and to see this post. And there are a lot of responses, and really interesting. So some really insightful discussions on this topic. So if you're interested, go and chat that for details. But what I want to find from this question is about 3 questions as a follow-up question. So the first one, how would you prove you meet these 3 requirements? So let me take a few seconds to digest. Okay, how would you prove that? Okay, I have these 3 criteria that I feel are match of all the 6. But how could you improve? How could you prove that to the people going to hire you? And the second question, why are these 6 requirements for this role? I mean, where is it came from? Like, how people can list like a requirement list for you to get the job. So like why it is here. This is actually, if we combine it like why and where it came from, it's actually one question. It's about like the design hiring process, how it actually looks like. And by asking those questions, I want you to switch from the job seekers mindset to your customers mindset. Who is your customer? The recruiter, the hiring manager, and your employer. They are your customer, and you are selling yourself as a product, remember? So I want you to switch from like, no, now I'm looking for a job, from that mindset to now I want to hire someone to get the job done. So imagine you are that guy, and what the mindset, what they are thinking. We know, like for UX design, we need to understand what customers are thinking, what customers are doing and saying, and what customers are feeling. So it's about to understand them. So now it's time to switch the mindset to a hiring manager's mindset. Right, so let's keep going. So this is a designer hiring process. It's actually, this process is different from each companies. And this one actually is from one talk that we did last week with an agency, with a local design agency in Auckland. And this is the design hiring process that they shared. And it's kind of like the same with many other companies. At first, people will submit their CVs and cover letter, and then the companies they're hiring will review the CV and any portfolio and see if these people will go to a next round. And if not, if you are a candidate, you will receive an email said, sorry, thank you for your applying, but unfortunately, yeah, you're not going any further, and wish you all the best. So you probably just got that email, or just without anything, like no replies and no anything at all. But from the hiring's perspective, like they were just going to find, okay, some people will go to the next round. And next round is more like a screener interview. The first interview, most of the time it will be HR people give you a phone call and ask you who you are, and okay, what's your job expectation, like, or what's your previous experience, so in a high level. And they want to understand, like, if you are legal to work, if you have the right visa to work, and what's your salary expectation, notice period, so more like that. And after that, if you're okay, it feels you are a right person to go to the next round, and then second interview will be more likely the design team or the design manager will talk with your about your design process. So this is most of the time it would be a case study review, and then you will have a chat with another designer or the interviewers around your case study or around a case that you did, and you walk through like how you did the job and what is your design process, what did you think during this process. So it's more likely to let them understand, do you have the skills for get the job done, and do you understand what you are going to do. Like during this stage, they will understand, okay, are you a fit for this job on the work and skill perspective. And for some other companies, we'll go to the next round, like cultural fit. It's more like to invite you for a coffee catch up sometimes, or sometimes just with some companies, they might invite you to work with some designers for like a few hours, half a day, to figure out if you are a fit for that company, and if you can collaborate with other team members. And other stage, or more like two different companies, it might have a design challenge, like you got a problem to solve and solve it in a limited time, like half a day or just a few hours. Or maybe you are going to meet a wider team, and then if everything goes good, you might get a reference check, and then you got if everything goes good, you got the offer, and it's a good time for you to negotiate with your salary or other things when you got the offer, and then you sign the contract, and then onboarding. Sounds really straightforward, right? And some companies might have 2 interviews, some company might have like 10 interviews, even 8 different steps for interviews. And for me, I think my current job is the longest. It's take 4 rounds of interviews. So yeah, it's just to review how a designer hiring process. And it starts here, right? It seems quite straightforward. Start from you apply that job, you submit your CV and cover letter for that job. But actually, it's not. This is where it actually starts. It's not at the pre-interview stage. It actually starts from long before that official process. So the real designer hiring process starts from here, like when this team got some jobs need to do, and the capacity of the team is not enough to cover that job. So at that moment, which means there is a problem that it's not match the thing you want to meet, like the employer want the team to do, and the team's capacity are not matched. And here's a problem. It's a problem for the team from especially for the design manager, for the manager of the team. So the team lead will think about, wow, now we have more things to do. And now our team is really busy, so I can't get anything from those guys anymore. How I can get the job done? Or is there anyone can get the job done? And then there will be discussions like, can we hire some vendors, like third-party agencies, to get a job done, or just like some contractors, or maybe we can hire in-house designers to get a job done. So there are a lot of discussions, but then when they decide, when they make the decision to hire, so the hiring manager will get the budget for hiring a new roles. So this will be like the decision they made for hiring a new designer to join the team, and then based on their understanding, they will confirm that how much budget for this role, and is it a junior role, or is it a intermediate role, or just a senior role, and how long it's going to cover, and what are the jobs that it's going to this new guy we're going to solve. So there will be some decision to make, and after that stage, the hiring manager. Imagine again, I want you to switch the mindset as a hiring manager. What will you think if you got a budget, and if you are clear that we will going to hire someone to get a job? What will you do? Imagine if you are already a hiring manager, you might be already know someone, or you worked with someone in previous projects or with other companies. So more likely, you're going to hire someone you are already familiar with or you already know. Because think about that. If you are a hiring manager and you spend a few weeks or even a few months to hire someone to get he or she onboarded, but you find that you recruit the wrong person, and it will be much more expensive to get that guy out of the team. And maybe that guy, that wrong fish, will ruin the whole team. And maybe just one new guy comes, and five team members will leave because of this wrong person. So for them, it's more challenging than us. And they want to know, is this the guy that can actually work with the team, can actually get the job done? So more often, they will start to think about the people they already know, they're already familiar with. And if not, what would they do? They might ask some people they worked with or they're working with, like the team, like, do you know anyone? Do you know anyone who are able to do the job? And then it's more like recruiting internally, okay? So they will ask, is there anyone we know can get the job done? So that also means a lot of companies, they have referral program. They have internally referral program. Like for me, for example, if I suggest someone to join Zero, and if they successful, okay, I can get some referral money for doing that. So this is more likely to show that if someone refer someone they already worked with, which means that it's more countable from the work perspective, that this guy can get the job done. And if it's not, and then the hiring manager, the design manager will raise this request to HR department, HR team, like, hey guys, we need to hire someone, and do you know anyone who can get the job done? Or just here is the description, the job description I wrote for this role. So please use your resource to share this information, maybe publicly. So that's where it came from, like where this 6 requirements I asked in the previous question, like where it came from. This is where it came from. It came from the design manager decided to recruit someone and didn't find anyone they know already, they already worked with, can fit the job. And then they start to ask for help from HR people. And then HR people will post the job on the market. According to the research, 75% of the job opportunities are in the previous stage, before the pre-interview. So which means if you apply a job, you are competing with so many talented designers or other candidates for that 25% of the job opportunities. So this is actually what it starts. So that's why it's so important to know someone already working in the industry, already working the creative industry, and then you can have more information around this previous stage, right? Any questions? Anything anyone want to ask or comment? No. Okay, let's keep going. So now it's more around the design process for finding a job, for get a job. It's, as mentioned, you are a product you're going to sell. The design managers, the recruiters, those clients are your potential customers. So you're going to design an user experience for those guys to get you as a product, to buy you, right? So this is the design process I want to talk. Like generally, it's a 3-step, so quite high level. Do your research first, and then do your design, and then deliver your result to those customers. So the first part about research is around market, like what is your current market looks like. For example, like Tiffany, you are in a Bay Area, and then you can do the research like how actually the market is, how big and market is. Is there any like new job is posted every day, or like what is the average salary about that area? And yeah, just some research about market, and also the research about the people, like any new designers working that area, and have you is there anyone that you need to follow or pay more attention? And then about the job, later when you got some information about your dream job, take a look at the job requirements and the job descriptions, and to understand what that job is what the day-to-day basis that job is working on, and how it might looks like. And then to analyze, is there a fit before for you and the job or the company's culture? Sometimes it might feel like it's a good job, but it's not a fit for you. You might feel, okay, I don't like the culture, or I don't like the background, or I don't like the industry. For example, if you don't smoke, and there's a cigarette company is recruiting UX designer, and it's against your value, and then probably, yeah, it's not a fit. And design, the second stage about design, it's about to design those deliverables, right? Those things you're going to show yourself as a designer to other people. It's about, like, for interview process, is about your CV, your cover letter, your website, which is your portfolio, and more importantly, your story, how you can share your story as a designer, like what I shared previously, like my design story. And the final, and then the third stage is about deliver. It's about how you can use those things you already created, those asset you already created for the next stage. How you can use it to connect to the community, to connect to those people, and how you can actually apply a job with the customized CV, cover letter, and how you can prepare the interview, how you can actually go to the interview stage. And then what's your reference from your previous colleagues or from social media or anything. So this is more like deliver, and deliver is around those touch points for your customers, the recruiters, the hiring managers, and how you can make those touch points can convince them you are the right guy to get the job done. So that's your challenge. Right. And here's some example. For example, like let's take New Zealand market, for example. This is the research that you can find. Some kind of research. Like for me, I found, okay, here's the top 50 startup or 50 tech companies and best in New Zealand. And then I can check the list and to see, okay, seems this company is quite interesting. I make it on my list, on my personal list. So kind of the research like this, and you can just make it much bigger or much better. But here is just as an example to start this process. And the next one, this is the funny part. It's your customer personas. We know that as a UX guy, you need to one of the job for you is to create the customer persona, the user persona. And as mentioned that your customer is those guys, recruiter and interviewer. This is quite easy to understand. Like that recruiter, the first of persona is more likely as the HR people in a company. And when they see your CV, they're going to evaluate your CV and your portfolio. Is it the right person to go to the next stage? And more likely, recruiters in the company are really busy. And from my experience, more likely as a female from 25 to 35 age, female professionals working the company or like external recruiters, and more likely they will do the first round of interview with you before the hiring manager interview, right? And the second persona is the interviewer. It's another designer or design manager in team, and they're really busy. Again, they're really busy. And then when the recruiter forward your CV and portfolio to the interviewer, they will take a look, maybe between meetings. Remember, they are really busy, so they might have a full scheduled occupied. So they have a few minutes to read your CV and portfolio and have some questions to ask you during the interview process. They might not quite patient, or sometimes quite not that polite, because they are really, really stressful and busy. So be nice to those guys, and also to understand their mindset or the way they work. Like they don't have much time to read all the details on your CV and portfolio, which means you might not to make it really complex or long for them to read. But these two roles, we can discuss more details. But I think it's just as an example, and then you can do your own research on these two personas. But here is another interesting one. Here's another persona that I created, the connector. As mentioned, a lot of job opportunities actually before official recruiting process, before the recruiter got the job description and posted on Seek or LinkedIn, and then get some application and go to the next step. Most of the time, you might hear the job from someone, maybe from a meetup organizer, or maybe from a local designer who know a lot of people, or maybe from someone, I don't know, from your reference, from your previous job or someone. There are always someone that feels that he know a lot of people and he know a lot of information. So this guy is the connector. And your job is to target the. I think oh sorry, I forgot to take that that example. It's like after the talk last week, I got email. I got a private message from LinkedIn. Like someone is asking me, "Hey Bear, do you know anyone who's looking for a job? I have this role open, and I think your connection might have someone relevant or someone fit this job." So someone sent me this message via LinkedIn, and for them, I am the connector for them to find the right candidate for that job. So this is what you're going to do to find a connector in your local community, like on your market or in your city or in your connection. Like find that guy, find this dude, and he seems know a lot of people, and he can connect you from this role to another role, right? So I think now let us do a quick practice. It's more like a 3 minutes practice, like map out if you are going to find a connector, a design connector in your local city, and you don't know who they are or how you can interact with those guys. So here's the question: what could you do to connect to someone seems like a connector in your city, in your community, and write a few lists. I write a few items, like a few options. For example, I don't know, maybe go to the meetup and talk to someone. This could be one. And you can have other options. So think about like 3 to 4 options that you might take to connect to some guys that know more information. And the other question is that think about what do you need for connecting to those guys. Think about what you need. It could be like a self-introduction. You could need that. You definitely need that, right? And what else that you need for connecting those guys? And what is the follow-up? Like you can think about that. Right, let's take 2 to 3 minutes. 3 minutes, I think, for this exercise. Are we all good on this? Right, okay. I will start counting for 3 minutes. Right, okay, let's go. I think we can pick music. I don't know if you can hear it, but anyway, let's go. Okay, while you're doing, I can try to use Spotify to play some background music. Don't know if you can hear it. I'm still so unfamiliar with Zoom. As mentioned, there are so many video meeting platforms so far. Right. And you might need to think around your city or the specific scenarios, like I don't know, from if the quarantine or there are still some lockdowns in your city, or there's not many in-person meetups or events, how we can actually reach out. So yeah, consider that as a requirements or as a situation. Right, we have 45 seconds. Right, time is up. Just a question, did you listen to music? Have you able to hear the music? No. Okay. Find a problem to solve next time. That's all good. And we have a newcomer, 门雪是吧? Okay. Nice to meet you. Right. Anyone would like to share a few things around these two questions? Tiffany?
I think mine is just more of, if I were to get myself out there, it's more of using LinkedIn and using my connections with my former school as well as the current boot camp, and then kind of talk myself up and sell it. That's the only thing I can think of right now within my
Okay.
city.
Right. Okay. That's good. Awesome. Matt, anything from you?
Oops, sorry, I needed to unmute. So if we're looking for a connector, yeah, I would say LinkedIn, but also I'm finding, even though it's 10 years later, my graduate university, a lot of the people that I knew from there that were doing other things have become UX designers.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, that sounds good. Right. Some previous connections that you might feel that will be more valuable, or sometimes will have some value to be updated, right? Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, that's great. Yeah, Huiling, anything from you?
I'd say join, on top of what they've already said, join relevant organizations on LinkedIn, or try and reach out to people I already know who might know people who are already in the industry. So the other thing I found really useful was I signed up to lots of job recruiting type organizations. I was with Auckland Thomas because I was made redundant too, and they connected me with a lot of different people. So it was it's an exercise in expanding networks, I suppose. Yeah.
Right. Okay, that's great. Great to hear your thoughts. Like you guys definitely thought about that, the question, and I think it could be as a starting question or as a starting exercise that you can do. Depends on where you are and what the resource you already got, because everyone's different. And I want you to think about some specific methods or some specific scenarios that you can reach out and connect. For example, let me give you an example. Like we know that we can connect someone on events, right? On conference or on meetups. Definitely, that's one like a no-brainer. Everyone will think about that question. But what would you do, or something you can do to really build a connection? For me, I have a tip, I have a hack that you can use. Like next time when you go to an event or join a conference, someone's speaking in person, and my tip is always sit at as closer as possible, maybe at the front seat, at the first row, and then while that guy, the speaker, the lecturer is talking, I just use my cell phone to take some nice photos, and then after the meetup, I'll just say thank you. If at first it's really hard as an introvert. I feel to talk to someone I don't know and to introduce myself like, hey, I'm there. Really great to see you in person or something. I really feel uncomfortable for doing that. So my tip at that time was just take some nice photos and write a few things about what I've learned from his speech, from his thoughts, his insights, and thank you, and then post it on LinkedIn or somewhere else and at him. And by doing that, everyone will be surprised. Like every speaker will feel, oh, this is really nice. I now got some nice photos for me, like someone's taking photo of me. And also he or she sells something about what my speech is about. It's create some value. So every time I do this, and every time I connect to that guy or that woman and that lady, and also as a follow-up, I can then sometimes I can reach out for a coffee catch up or ask something for help in the later stage. So it's really find some way to differentiate you from other people, and also depends on you, because as mentioned, I'm an introvert, and I was really uncomfortable to reach out to different person in unfamiliar situation, environment. This is what I did to design something that I can take the advantage. I'm good at taking photos, and I can just pick a front seat and take photos for that guy and write something, take some notes. And recently I developed another technique that about taking notes visually and share it back. But this is another story. So what I want to think is to take a review of your connection and your resource, and to do some to do some brainstorming around the resources that you have, and think about anything that could increase the opportunity to connect to someone, to connect to some possible job opportunities. So think about that as an exercise that you can do. And for example, like some people maybe we mentioned that there are some female organization, female relevant organization to help to support female professionals, and maybe you can join that, or you can reach out to those people and for connection. Yeah, so think about that as a follow-up exercise. Right, so let's go to the next stage. And this is a topic I don't want to go deeper, design a portfolio, because it's more like an like an offline workshop, or what we discussed last time on the workshop in Auckland, and we discussed the portfolio. But in general, I don't think we can go deeper on this topic. This is an example of the worst portfolio ever, and it's used some irrelevant language and even photos to describe you as a designer. And sometimes when we go to the portfolio website design process, we might get too attached to details and forgot the reason. Keep reminding yourself the customer you're going to touch and get is those recruiters, those hiring managers, and what you can show them, or how you can convince them that you are able to do the job. That's the purpose of a portfolio. So it's not about get it fancy or get it like a lot of post-it notes on the on your portfolio seems that you're running a workshop, something like that. No, it's more about to show what actually you did as a designer and to show your skill, knowledge, and design process. And then they will have the confidence that, oh, seems that this guy is able to do the job. I might need to discuss with him about his design process. That's the purpose of a portfolio, right? And this is more like some people might think like job application is a really linear process. I saw a job post on some places like LinkedIn, SICK, and then I applied for it, and then I got the job. Or not, I failed, I didn't get a job, right? It seems like a linear process, but actually a job seeking process is more like a web. A lot of try and error, do the research and got the feedback about the research, about what you've learned, and take some, I really want to use this word, like detective mindset during the research to find out the connection of different people and different roles, and do some preparation, like what I mentioned, the research about market, about the job, about the company, about the people, and then apply it. Apply it, which means that you need to do the preparation before that, but also you can use applying process as a learning process. Like mentioned, I applied 50 to 60 different jobs in general, and most of them are failed, right? So I only got like 3 companies. I work here in New Zealand as a UX designer. So that's quite a small number, 3 compared to 60, right? But those 60 job applying experience, actually, I use every one of them to evaluate what I can improve next time. For example, when I first got the email rejection, the rejected email, like, sorry, Belle, thank you for applying this job. We really appreciate that. Unfortunately, it's not a match, and we don't think you are the right candidate, so we're not going to the next stage. Sorry, good luck with your application. Good luck with your job hunting. This is quite standard, right? When you got this email and you feel a little bit frustrated, but I used every one of them as the opportunity to learn what I can improve. So normally when I got the email, I will just reply, thank you, I really appreciate that such and such. But could you let me know, is this some specific reason for this? Is it because I'm not a right match? Or is it mean something from the professional perspective, something I can improve? Or are you looking for someone more senior? Seems that I'm more like a junior at this stage, so it's not a match. And by doing that, you can get some feedback. And sometimes you can even follow up, like, oh, I really enjoying that what you share on your last time when we talked about during the interview stage. So wonder if you can like maybe we can have a 20 minutes phone call, and then you can give me some suggestion or something that you would like to do, or I can improve. So I used every opportunity that I can get to learn and reflect. And sometimes the company just don't bother. They don't give me any feedback or any replies even. And then I also learned something like, this is not the right company I'm going to work with, right? I don't like this guy. I don't like this type of people. They don't respect any new junior designers or anyone who's applying that job. So no, it's not on me. It's okay. I can cross this company from my list of the whole market and move on. This is also something I've learned from that process. And then you got, after some interviews, after some stages, you can get a job. But also, like, what I want you to practice is to find the connector, is the shortcut to do some research, get some preparation, get a referral, go to the interview, and get a job. This probably the value or the things are hidden in the design hiring process from here, like what we mentioned. Sorry, it's from here, like typical or official design hiring process from pre-interview, first interview, second interview, get the offer, get the job, sign the contract, onboarding. But the actual design hiring process start from you have job need to do as a hiring manager and you need to find someone to get a job, ask the friends or the people you worked with. If not, ask the team for referral. If not, ask a hiring manager, ask HR people, like, is there any talent? Are there any talent people already saved in the company's recruiting database previously? If not, make it open, publish the job publicly, and then go to the officially recruiting process. So before that, 75% of the job opportunities here. So by find someone can help you connecting to those informations, you will get closer to the job opportunity. And also by understand your customer persona, recruiter, the interviewer, and connector, you'll get a better preparation for your job landing. So yeah, that's pretty much all I want to share on this workshop. And sorry, we don't have time to do much more customized or practice. And again, sorry for the inconvenience of the switch from Google Meet to Zoom. This is not a good user experience. So sorry about that. Because it's more like a share back with some of my personal time and effort, and I understand that because of limited time and effort, it's not that good experience, but I will improve. And also, if you have any suggestion or feedback, please write it on the chat message, and maybe just focus on what you feel good about this session and what could be improved next time, and from your brutal, honest perspective. And as a reminder, again, no matter what you are doing right now, what your job title is, where you are at your career journey, like you're looking for a job, you're already doing the job, or you're planning to get a designer job a few years later. No matter what, by joining this workshop, by understand the design process, you are already a product or a UX designer right now from this moment. And the product you're designing is you. You are designing yourself as a product to sell yourself to your customers. And your customers are those guys who are going to work with you. So by designing the approaches, the strategies, and increase the opportunities to connect to the people you're going to work with, and by showing something that make them feel comfortable, make them feel confident that you are the right people to work with. This is your design challenge, and think that as a design challenge, and think yourself as a product designer from now. And I think it will be a really good mindset shift from a job seeker's mindset to a recruiter or to a hiring manager's mindset, and it will help you to get a job in a better way. So hope that helps. Right. Now we have a few minutes for free discussion or any question or any comments. So yeah, let me know if you have any questions or anything want to share. All right. Feel free to jump in. And by the way, we have some people just join in the middle of the process. That's all good, because later I can share you the video recording, and also I can share you the video recording of the previous talk and it will be more relevant about how to build a personal strategy to get a designer job. Yeah, but for this one, it's more like to understand the designer hiring process. Right. Okay, thank you, Huiling. I saw your message. Right. So, Tiffany, you have any questions? Seems you're expressing something.
I think I'm okay. I think you kind of tackled a lot of questions I already had and kind of gave me the confirmation that I'm going in the right direction.
Right.
And I'm not second guessing myself there.
Right. That's great. Okay. And Stacy is just joining, and Menxue is joined during the middle of the process. Do you guys have any question to ask, or anything you want to share?
Thank you, Bear. I just I've been really busy the last couple of weekends, but the few pieces I got were real gold. Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge, because yeah, they're actually really good points there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Having said that, I took some screenshots of you, so I'll send that.
That's all good.
Thank you.
Great to know. And yeah, just use it, like learn by doing, right?
Right,
So,
of course.
cool.
Yeah.
Right. Cool. So right. If there are anything like I mentioned, if you want to learn, or any questions around career, around this, how to get a designer job, or how to improve your design skill, feel free to send me the message. After that, you can find me from my email, bear@beartalking.com, or an easy way would be use LinkedIn. A private message, send me a message would be easier. And yeah, so yeah, thank you for joining, and really enjoying this 1.5 hours. And yeah, all the best to your design journey, no matter where you are right now. And remember, you are already a product designer from now. So get it started, and get it started by thinking about your personal strategy, resource, and what the things you want to improve. Yeah, but it's not a linear process, and it's not just a one-step journey. Like get something prepared today, get a job tomorrow. Not like that. It's a little bit longer process, but I believe you can do whatever you want when you get prepared. Right. Thank you, guys. Thank you for joining. And see you someone later. But some people, let's keep connected. And yeah, have a great weekend and a great day. I think for Tiffany and Matt, you're in the other side of the world. Right. Cool.
Right on. Thanks.
Cool.